In his latest interview for his SNP leadership election campaign, Humza Yousaf has essentially confirmed that if he becomes the next First Minister of Scotland, his only priority will be the second Scottish referendum. Not health, not education, and not jobs. Yes, the clowns of the SNP establishment are getting ready for the voting in the SNP leadership election. And of course, Humza Yousaf is getting a lot of attention. On the one hand, he is Nicola Sturgeon in trousers. On the other hand, he's worse than Nicola Sturgeon. So, it's fascinating to see that you have on the left Kate Forbes, who's been under attack for being more conservative, technically speaking, socially conservative views. Ash Reagan in the middle, I'm not really sure why she even exists. And then you have Humza Yousaf, the man who wrote the anti-free speech bill in Scotland. And of course, he also has a problem with white people. He says it, I didn't say it, he's actually said it himself, and we've talked about it on the channel so many times. But the biggest problem I have with him now is the fact that STV News did an interview and confirmed that Humza now says that he would fight each election on independence. Each election, the priority of the campaign will be for the second Scottish referendum. And he also went on this weird rant about everything else. Let's watch this first.
We have to build that sustained majority support for independence. If we don't have that, then Scottish independence won't be inevitable. If you do get that, it will become politically inevitable. And that's why I've said to the activists today, as much as our opponents want us to talk about process, and we do have to talk about some process, we've got to talk about policy. And if we manage to convince the majority of the Scottish people in a sustained way, in a sustained manner, and it becomes a settled will that independence is the cause that they should support, then, as I say, it becomes a political inevitability.
So he basically means he says if we manage to convince, but it means if we manage to scare the Scottish people so much into supporting independence, create a project fear as usual to say everything that's wrong in Scotland and Scottish government is because of English people. That's basically what they've done for years. And that's what he means when he says, well, we have to spend some time convincing and persuading people in Scotland to support the second Scottish referendum. How are you going to do that? The only way you're going to do that is because you're going to go out there and you're going to blame everything on English people, basically, because you just hate English people. That's it. That's the reality. Let's not forget that this man was the same hypocrite who didn't vote for the same-sex marriage as a bill, and now he's going out there on social media with all the rainbow unicorn flags and emojis saying, I'm an ally to the LGBT movement. So Alex Salmond was in charge at the time. He was the leader of the SNP at the time. And he said that Humza Yousaf actually did skip the key votes on gay marriage due to religious pressure. So he had basically the Islamic groups going to him saying, Humza, you cannot vote for same-sex marriage or we will destroy your life. And Humza Yousaf said, yes, sir, I'm not going to vote for same-sex marriage. I will not offend you, Mr. Imam, or whatever you are. And that's the reality. And Alex Salmond also confirmed what was already said over the last few days. And Humza Yousaf is now currently in hiding. He's scared of how to even respond. The only way he can respond is to keep tweeting about rainbow flags, pretending to be an ally to the LGBT movement. You're not an ally. You don't care. You simply want their votes. That's the reality, you virtue signaler. But the man who is obsessed with Nicola Sturgeon, clearly he's got some issues. He now wants to make Nicola Sturgeon the global ambassador for independence. What does that even mean? It makes absolutely no sense. So he said he wants to make Sturgeon a global ambassador for Scottish independence if he becomes the next SNP leader and First Minister, as a thank you for Nicola Sturgeon's efforts and all the work that she did over the last few years. Yeah, all the work she did to destroy Scotland for Scottish people. Yeah, massive thank you to Nicola Sturgeon. Let's make you the head of the United Nations or NATO while we're at it. Because you're so good. You're very good at management. And you definitely have no corruption in your sleeve. So if Humza Yousaf is selling himself as a continued candidate to follow Nicola Sturgeon, then my message to just semi-sensible SNP members who have a right to vote in this election is, if you were skeptical about Nicola Sturgeon at the end and you wanted her to go, do not be fooled by this man. He will be even worse than Nicola Sturgeon. And my message to everybody else who hates the SNP, let's hope Humza Yousaf becomes the leader of the SNP so he could destroy the SNP family from the inside. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.